Hello. So, here's what's on my mind today. Um, I've just been thinking about why we talk about abs so much in Pilates. Very rarely is it for aesthetic reasons. Oh, that's nice when we get that too. Um, but that's a focus of our conversation just because of the zone. This is the center of our body. So, I mean abs lots of different ways depending on how I want to grab your attention. And if you've been doing these classes, that they're involved in all the movements of the trunk, right? So we just have to kind of like highlight how we are using the muscles around your trunk. Um, Today in the workout, it's going to be same old, but I want to keep reinforcing for you that you are using your abdominal muscles in every single exercise, not just the 100 when your head's up, not in flexion exercises or sit up exercises, but your abs do play a role in stabilizing your torso no matter what the move is. So that is often stability in your trunk is often the key to how we release tension in your hips. Like learning how to isolate an area to move it is a good way to release it. It's also how we recruit some of the muscles that help us fight gravity and have good posture, give us a proper alignment for our arm and shoulder blade to move on. So let's see if we can seek that out. If you're not sure where your abs are involved, they're always involved in your breath. So let's start there. I want you to place one hand on your abdomen, go a little lower than your belly button. Put the other hand on your chest. Keep breathing. Put your weight over your heels, and you can just rock a little bit back and forth to sense that if you're not sure. When your weight settles onto your heels, visualize your pelvis right over your heels, your ribs over your pelvis, and your head over your ribs. And now let's tune into your breath, inhaling through your nose, and feel the air come into your chest and feel the abdominal wall expand slightly. And now as you exhale, feel your breastbone sink under your top hand, feel the abdominal wall pull away from your bottom hand. As you breathe in, we're going to take the breath deep into your lungs, letting the diaphragm drop. So that's why both regions expand slightly. And then when you exhale, the compression of your abdominals helps to push the diaphragm up. Ribs sink in, chest softens. 2 more times, breathe in. See if you can create an even expansion in the top and bottom hand. And as you exhale, press down into your heels, lift your pelvic floor, draw the abs in, hug those ribs together. 1 more time. Grow tall with that inhale, like the air was filling up to the top of you. And then exhale thoroughly. Feel your chest soften. Feel all the energy gather back into the center. All right. Since we're up already, let's just do a little standing work first today. So I'm going to have you start out with a set of squats. Same weight distribution over your heels with your legs parallel. And then just start to swing your arms forward and backwards as you go into a squat stand pattern. When we're going through the squat, challenge yourself to stay neutral in your spine, bringing the whole unit forward, hinging at your hips, and trying to create a lightning bolt shape with your body so you're flexing the hips, the knees, and the ankles. 2 more of those. And 1 more time. Now, come on down into it. Why don't you fold your arms to get a new arm position? And I want you to bounce, but with a very slight weight shift. So if you take bar, like a pulse would be, but just move around to different parts of your foot. I'm even taking a little bit of the weight forward now, backwards now. Staying in a range of motion that's pain-free though. Okay, this is where I can move and still feel okay at the knees, okay in the low back. Trying to keep it wide, sit bone energy there. We're just gonna do about 10 more seconds. Let your chest drop a little more. Play with the height. All right, and then back up to stand. Back to a bigger move, not so burny. Now lift your heels and take your arms up. Drop your heels. Repeat the squat we were doing. Stand up. So you're going to go heel lift, squat down. Heel lift, squat. You can go at your own pace. Kind of find your natural flowing rhythm. I'm following the swing of my arms. 2 more times. Be prepared to stop at the bottom. 1 more. And stay down. All right. Back to those genie arms. Now stay in your squat. Make sure you are pitched forward. We're going to lift your heels and drop them down. And lift them up and drop them down. And just keep repeating that. And you can play with the variables, though. If you're uncomfortable in your knees, change your angles. Find your sweet spot. Use this time to explore. 3 more. A little bossy today. 2. Yikes. 1. I'm nervous for you people. And then back up. All right, now, give me a little shake out. To the floor. I'm going to have you sit down. Double leg stack like you're about to do the mermaid. Forearm. Try to line your elbow up under your shoulder and push yourself away from the ground so that you feel already a recruitment. So now here we are with our abs. In this case, I'm talking about your obliques and this very back part on the side and even these little tiny muscles in between your ribs. Okay, so we're getting all the tone through there. Try to maintain this plank. Let's bring your other hand to your forehead so it's out of the way. And I want you to just turn your knee up and down. Okay, so this is giving us lateral rotation on the top leg. I'm also using my abs to stabilize, as in prevent rotation of the pelvis. You can say staying still here and just turning my leg in the hip joint. One more time. Okay. Do that again, but let's also turn out your bottom leg. As you do that, you're going to pivot onto the knee into our lateral rotation, legs together as you come down. Once you get to the flow of this, stop paying attention to that. I want you to put a little energy into the shoulder stability now. You are pivoting, so we're really rotating the scapula and the rib cage on this fixed arm. So this side's kind of dropping down as this side's coming up. I have forgotten all about my legs. Poor form, poor form. One more time. All right. I know you did that so much better than me. Let's go to the other side. Okay, get your double stack. Get stable in that bottom arm. And then right away, let's use this time to just get that sense of the side body. Just moving from the top leg, we're just going to rotate up and down. Talk about bad form. Like my feet were just like off the mat. Get another zip code. Aren't you glad you tuned in today? Make sure you're pushing this top hip forward so they stay stacked up and still. Last one of those. All right, ready to put it all together? Bear the weight into the forearm. Pivot onto that bottom knee, turning both legs out, and then back down. Now you still could be in control of your own speed, of course, but give yourself a linger. Get the pose, lock it in, and then lower. Lock. You're not locked. You're just super duper strong. And then back down. Pelvis from the back. Just give it a little push forward as the legs open. Last 2 of these. Top side of the shoulder pulling down out of the ear. One more time. Again, I was getting like weak with that turnout. What's up with that? All right, onto your back. Shake that arm out again. Okay. Let's bring your feet in so they're pretty close to your hips, 6 to 8 inches away. We're going to do a few hip rolls to finish up your warm-up. Arms resting by your sides. Did I say space between your legs? Please leave some. On your exhale, curl your hips off the mat, rolling each vertebra off the mat until you are at the base of your shoulder blades. Stay there, take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to roll back down. All right, let's try that again. On your exhale, curl the pelvis and start to lift up. I don't want to talk anymore. Hold here, breathe in. And exhale, roll back down. It's pretty early in the workout for me to be saying that. What have you been doing, like 10 minutes? Oiks. Exhale, curl yourself up. As you lift up your hips, try to reach your knees away from your shoulders. Hold there, take a breath in. And on the way down, encourage flexion so that the bones press into the skin. Feel a nice stretch along all the back muscles and then unravel to neutral. Let's add a little more stretch for your lats. You're going to curl up on the exhale. All right. Once you pose your bridge, take one arm overhead and leave it there. Now roll down and focus on staying centered. Feel the challenge of the arms being different, but find your spine to guide you down. And then as you inhale, return your arm and go back to neutral. On the exhale, curl your hips off again. Try to push those knees away, get a nice stretch to the front of the hips. Inhale, take your other arm overhead, and exhale to roll back down. Okay, so now you got the pattern. We're going to do that again. Bring your arm down. I want you to think about your abs a little bit more. When you start to curl your hips off, you're exhaling, so we've got that compressive force. You can feel your obliques shortening, and I want you to stay connected with this compression you made. As you get to the top, notice how the obliques actually get a little bit longer again, but we still feel that overall support, that three-dimensional one we created. Now, inhale, take your arm overhead. Then as you roll back down, we're going back through flexion. So again, the abs have to shorten first, and the more we can do that, the better stretch we get for the back. And then rock back to neutral. Exhale, curl your hips up. Inhale, reach your arm overhead, and then roll back down on the exhale breath. Inhale, release your arm. Exhale, curl your hips up. Give a little pressure into your big toes, stabilize that bridge. Arm goes overhead, and then soften breastbone. Work through your ribs, low back, and hips, and rock back to neutral. And then return your arm. All right, from here, let's slip your hands behind your head. We're going to start out with the ab prep, and I want to go right into the variation where we march. So you're going to angle your elbows up a little bit. As you exhale, nod your chin, curl up your head and shoulder, and take one leg into tabletop. When you lower your head, you're going to place your foot back down. Let's switch legs every time. Exhale as you flex forward. Inhale as you lower. Exhale, curl up. And inhale to drop. And exhale, flex. And lower. Let's do 4 more this way. And 3, 2. On this next one, leave that leg in the air. Now, you're going to rock back a little and extend your leg, and then curl back up as you bend your knee. Just 5 of those. And tuck. 3. So we're like halfway down. One more time. Lay all the way down. Put your head down and your foot down. Both things. All right. Flex up again. Let's take your other leg to tabletop. Keep looking towards the leg as you rock back and extend it. Crunch back up. 2, and lift. Let's keep the sense of the abs getting a little longer, shorter. Last one, and lower, back down again. We're going to do that one more time on each side. So you're going to curl up, take that knee to tabletop. Okay, stay with that ab focus. So we rock back a little. Now feel the ends come together. And back, and tuck. Inhale, exhale. 2 more times. Last one, lower your head, drop your foot. All right, last time like this. Flex up, leg to tabletop. And now rock it back and reach, curl up. 2, and lift. 3, 4, and 5. Lower back down to the mat. All right, you're going to turn over onto your stomach. All right, a little breaststroke prep. 1, legs parallel. They could be together or slightly separated. W shape with your arms. Press into your forearms a little bit so you're starting in a hover. Can you explore shrugging and dropping your shoulders? And hopefully as soon as you start to do it, you'll feel it's really like a hunching, like a rounding forward and a drawing back. I want you to work with that element as we come up to begin to get those scapula just sliding down your back. And then we're going to add the retraction so it's a little more of a V. But feel how you can use your forearms to create that without taking away from your back lifting up. Without taking away from your back, working to lift up this part of you. I lost it. Okay, staying down. Inhale, breath. Ready? Here it comes. On your exhale, start to roll those shoulders back and down as you lift your head and chest. Now give the pressure into your forearms and keep lifting up till you're at the bottom rib. Stay there and take a breath in. Exhale, lower back down. Compress your abs, hug your ribs together, drop your chest, neck and head. Inhale at the bottom. Get a little longer before you start to move. Now as you exhale, glide the shoulder blades back. Imagine your head and neck getting longer, so like those points are pulling away from each other as you lift up. Now hold there, take your inhale. Let the breath be soft. Feel it expand across the front of your chest. And then exhale, hug the ribs together, sink back down, soften the collarbones, neck and head. One more time. Inhale at the bottom. When you start your exhale, get a little compression from your abs. Now lengthen your neck, Begin to lift up, press into the forearms, draw the shoulder blades back and down. Hold there, breathe in at the top. Now as you come down, pull your upper body away from your lower body. That's an activation of your arms again. Soften the chest, neck, and head. All right, reach your arms overhead. I want you to take the legs into lateral rotation. So you're going to turn your toes out, your heels in. My arms are a little wider than my feet are. So my feet are about hip width apart, arms a little bit wider than shoulder width. And with the arms and the legs, just do a little pressure into the floor. So again, you've propped up your upper body into a slight hover. You're going to maintain that hover, and we are going to lift up opposite arm and leg. The visual for this is that you're making the limbs longer. So I want you to actively slide them on the mat. Let's keep feeling for the environment there, and then pick them up once they're longer. Keep them reaching out so they're long, long, long till you touch back down. Okay, be exaggerating like that. All right, other side. So I'm going to lengthen and then lift up. Head stays lifted the same amount, and then I'm going to lower back down. Okay, so I'm making a traction and then picking up. All right, so hopefully you've got a sense of what I mean there. Now, the job of the abs is to pull the opposite way, pulling the energy into the middle. So now as you exhale, abs draw in, limbs lengthen and reach out. And can you kind of feel that tug of war within yourself, a good tug of war, and then lower back down. Exhale, the breath pulls the abs in, stabilizing the ribs and hips, and then I can lift the leg and arm and lower back down, and keep going through those commands. Start the breath, sense the middle of you, and now reach out and lower back down. You're just going to do one more time, slow like that. Abs draw in, lengthen away, glutes, deltoids lifting, and then back down. Okay, I want to try to do the full speed fluttering of the swimming, but let's see if we can keep making that contrast. You pulling in from the support around the torso and then reaching out from the limbs. On your exhale, compress your abs, lift your upper body, hover, and take your arms and your legs all off the mat. So it's our superhero. Now we flutter. Inhale, opposites. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. When you breathe in, feel the expansion. When you exhale, feel the drawing into your center. So inhale, we reach out through the limbs, and exhale, pulling in the core. Last time, inhale, and exhale. All right, reach everything out long, and then drop. All right, let's sit back onto your heels. So even as I said core there, it was like an easy way to just tell you a zone, right? That it's not even this magical, my abs alone. It's just this energetic place, the middle of my body, everything compressing and supporting there. All right, so you're going to go into your shell, creating kind of a hollowness between the abdominal wall and your thighs. And when you breathe in, sense your breath going all around the rib cage. Feel it expand the back and the sides. And then when you exhale, compress your abs a little bit more. You might feel an increase in flexion here and maybe a bit more stretch. Take one more breath in. Then when you exhale, start to roll yourself up into a sitting position. All right, let's go up into tall kneel. And we're going to do spine twist, 3 pulses to each side. Let's start with your arms out to the side, but on the twisting phase, we're going to bend both elbows. Take a breath in to prepare. As you exhale, rotate and pulse for 3 and 2 and 1. Give me a big opening to the center. Other side. 3. Deeper 2. Further 1. Inhale middle. Exhale to twist. Ring out 2. Further 3. And center. Keep going through the motion. I'm going to turn sideways. Back to the middle. As you're twisting, make sure you keep your hips pressing forward so you stay vertical over your knees. Back to center. And twist. Deeper 2. Further 3. Let's do one more to each side. And 1. Keep driving that back elbow back to guide the move. Back to center last time. 3 and 2 and 1. Back to center. Okay. I want you to take your arms back out to the sides. Soften up at the elbows just a little bit. And now you're going to go into a side bend. Lower arm goes across your belly. Top arm goes overhead. And then come back up to the middle. And then take it over. Okay, now the next one, I'm going to have you go too far. If this makes you nervous about your knees, just repeat what we just did. You're going to reach over again, and I'm going to have you shift your hips off to the side. So I'm kind of going in the direction of that bottom hand, and then back up. But let's try that other side. So reaching over and then back up. Now stay tall in the next one, big side bend. So you get that pull up the side body and up and then over and lift. Now let's do that falling down one. I reach through with the bottom arm and then up and reach through and sink and up. Let's do the whole cycle one more time. High one and center, high one and center. Now low one, guide with that bottom arm and lift. Other side, reaching and lifting. All right, arms back down. Let's go seated, knees bent. Feet can be flat, or if you're more comfortable with the legs out a bit more, you can go toes up. We want to start sitting up on your sit bones, stacking up your ribs and your head. And I'm going to have you start out reaching your arms forward at chest height for half roll back. Nod your chin and flex forward, curling over your knees. All right, we're going to keep the C shape of your spine. And the next exhale, start to roll your hips back, round your lower spine down towards the mat. And as you inhale, you're going to curl forward over your knees. Exhale, roll back. And inhale, dive forward towards the legs. Roll it back and forward. You're going to do one more time like that. Roll back and forward. All right, so you got the shape. Now, roll back and stay there. If you lift your arms up, the arms become part of the load your abs are holding, so it feels a little more intense. Lower your arms back down and then dive forward. Okay, so as I'm rolling back, abs compressing. I want to keep very little space between the ribs and hips, get a lot of squeeze from the glutes. Now keep that energy there, arms up to the ceiling, inhale. Exhale, lower your arms, inhale, dive forward. Let's do that two more times. Roll back, slide your shoulder blades down. Inhale, arms to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale, dive forward. One more time. Scoop and curl back, tuck up your pubic bone. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale to lower, dive forward. Okay, now keep your arms in line with your ears. We go back to like moving it along a little bit. Exhale, roll back right into that lifted arm. So load right away. Inhale, dive forward over your legs. And as this gets harder, it's okay if you hold back on how far you're rolling. You're trying to learn to listen here, right? So it's just, where can I feel the pubic bone tucking up? Where can I feel the glutes contracting? And when all that starts to soften, that's kind of a sign that you went too far. You want to keep tension out of your low back. One more of these. Roll down and forward. Okay, sit up tall. Straighten your legs out. Going all the way down. Arms reaching forward. Flex forward to get over your legs. You can put a little bend in your knees if that helps you round. As you inhale, you're going to roll back your pelvis like we were just practicing. We're going to keep going all the way down till you're flat and reach your arms overhead. Okay, let's try full sit up, eh? Inhale, arms up over your chest. Exhale, nod your chin, curl forward, draw your abs in, reach forward. You want to get on the sit bones. That's where you may choose to bend your knees. Start to roll back. Unravel, reach overhead. So my plan is to do 6 of these. If you are struggling doing a full roll up, just go up as high as you can. And to build endurance, you could just hang out at that spot, wait for me to like get up and start going down, and then join me on the way down here. Okay, so now we're going to do 3 more if you'd like to that way. If you want to make it a little tougher, go ahead. Up is the same. Nod your chin, curl forward. Keep drawing your abs in, but we want to keep that flexion up and over. Now, if you want to make it tougher, keep your arms in line with your ears. So I'm rolling back. This adds that heavier load. Okay, way heavier right through there, and lay out flat. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, nod your chin. I always love these ideas in theory. I forgot I had to do it with you. And then roll back. Good. Keep your feet flexed. Keep pushing out through your heels. Try to sense the back of your legs. And then unravel and arms back. One more time. And if that last element's too challenging, stay with the version before it. There's still plenty of ab works doing these sit-ups. And then roll back. And then unravel. And reach arms overhead. Circle them down by your side. Okay. I'm going to do a big, sloppy, moving, hip release, one leg circle, hybrid kind of thing. Leave one leg out straight on the mat. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, please don't worry. Just follow along. Okay, you're going to start with one leg in tabletop position. And I'd like you to take your arms out to the sides. Not quite in the T pose, like about a 45-degreer, I think should work pretty well. Make a regular knee stir where you're just circling the leg within your hip joint. keeping your knee about 90 degrees. Okay, in that case, we are disassociating your leg from your hip. Pelvis stays still, leg is moving. Let's do a few of those the other way. I think, yeah, we're stacking up ideas today, right? Let's keep doing that. A few more of these. So when you're doing that, back to your abs are working to stabilize your torso. So you'll feel them working isometrically. A lot of focus on the obliques because they play a role after this one. Let's put this leg down. They play a role in preventing rotation and forward backwards tipping of your hips. Okay, let's just even you out with the other side first. And across and down, and then out, around, and up. You want to breathe. Inhale for half a circle. Exhale for the other half. If I don't tell you what to do, just keep breathing. One more time. Okay, when you get to the top, let's reverse it. Tune into your breath again, but now inhale into the back of your rib cage. I want you to keep that focus every time you inhale. And feel how you can use inhale to create a stability or sturdiness, just like you can use the exhale at your abs. One more time. Okay, let's say I want to do the total opposite of that. We moved the leg, we kept the pelvis still. Now let's move the leg to make the pelvis move. So let's go back to the first leg, back to tabletop, and here's what we're going to play with. I want you to take the leg, drop it across the midline, but enough to turn the pelvis. And then I'm going to have you straighten the leg, just glide it down over the other one, keep it in the air, turn it out, and then bend it wide, and then we're just going to take it up and over. Okay, so I'm bringing the pelvis with me. So I'm going across, down, turning out, and pulling up. And again, up and over, fall with it, and around and up. One more time. Fall with it and around and up. Now when you get back up to the top, turn the palms up and now go up to the T position. You're going to drop out to the side and down. Let the leg straighten, turn it in, pull it up and across and around. Okay, so when we changed our hand position, I'm hoping you find just a little more opening across the chest. And that too, I just want to kind of ease us into every change and then up and around. And then back up to the top. All right, we're going to take that leg out, rock it a little bit. All right, so flip over hands, go a little bit lower, take the first leg up to tabletop. And now again, I'm falling across. I'm just letting it collapse, glide your leg down the mat, turn out your toes, dragging your heel, and again, I go up and over, let it fall, slide away. Turn out, drag in the heel and lift. So you can again inhale and slide. Exhale, turn out, drag it back in. Last time, drop across, slide down the other leg, turn out, drag it in, and lift to pause. All right, palms up, arms a little wider. Give you one more round, dropping your leg out to the side, glide it down away from you, turn it in, glide it up the other leg. Let's go through that tabletop, fall out the side, slide away. Rotate around. Make sure we're getting the pelvis twisting before it lands again. 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale to rotate. Drag it up and over. Last time, drop out, glide down the mat. Turn in, pull it up, and back up to tabletop. All right, slide it out. Rock it out. Oh, goodness. Okay. Let's get off of your back and up again. I'm going to have you get into a plank. Kneel on your hands and knees. We're going to go through the leg pull front exercise, but first, before we do the full thing, we're just going to get up into a plank a couple times and stretch out your calves. Start by spreading your fingertips out wide, align your shoulders above your hands, and just wiggle your knees back a touch. You want your toes curled underneath and a touch of space between your legs. All right, let's lift up into a full plank, shifting the weight onto your hands and your feet and just pausing there, and then drop your knees back down. And again, shift the weight forward, and you can adjust the hands on these just to make sure you get a balance you can sustain, because we'll be up a little longer. Let's do one more practice one. Push into the fingertips, push into the toes, really brace away from the floor, and then come on back down. I want you to push with that kind of force, like you're trying to press the mat through the ground. All right, let's add the calf stretch. So now you're going to come up into that plank. You want quads active, glutes active, abs active, everything around your shoulder blades. Now shift your weight back towards your feet by flexing your ankles and forward towards your hands. So I'm going to go into more dorsiflexion, plantar flexion with the ankles. Just flip in the weight back and forth. Now tune back into the plank itself. Get all the muscles underneath you pushing you up so you have a sling of support. shift forward again, drop your knees, shift back. I feel like my voice just got a little desperate because I wasn't counting, and that might have been too many for me. Okay, now the full exercise. Push up into your plank. Da-da-da-da-da. On your inhale, lift one of your legs up to the height of your hip. When you exhale, shift back and point your toes. Inhale, shift forward and flex your foot, and then lower your leg back down. Let's take the other one up. Inhale, lift your leg. Exhale, shift back and point. Inhale, shift forward and flex, then lower your leg back down, knees down. We're going to do that 2 more times. All right, pop it up. Exhale, lift into your plank. Inhale, first leg lifts, shift back and point. Shift forward, flex, lower your leg down. Other one, lift it. Shift back, point. Shift forward, flex, drop back down, drop your knees, sit it back. Last round. Let's just go 2 times through each before we come down for a little more endurance. That feels right. Up you go. Exhale, lift into your plank. Press your ribs up into your shoulder blades. Now inhale, leg to hip height, shift back, point, shift forward, flex, lower your leg back down. Other leg, inhale to hip height. Exhale, shift back. Shift forward, keep your hips in line with your plank, lower back down. Inhale, first leg up. Shift back, shift forward, drop back down. Inhale, lift. Abs draw in, shift back. Shift forward, drop down, drop knees. Sit back towards your heels. All right, get into a shell stretch. So hips on your heels, rounded spine again. I want you to tuck your right elbow in by the side of your body and take the left arm across on a big inhale to stretch. Exhale, tuck that arm in by your side, and inhale, reach your other one over. Let's go back and forth. Tucking and reaching over. All right, now I'm giggling because I do feel like some weeks I'm just working out. Some weeks I'm teaching. I can't tell what I did this week. I feel like I'm grunting and dying. Like I needed this workout really bad. But I was trying to teach you something today. You'll have to tell me if it worked. I don't know. And back to the center. Roll back up. Let's stand to finish. I just can't believe how quickly time goes by in this little half-hour class. Okay. Do a squat. Set your feet about hip width apart. Reach your arms up to the ceiling. We're going to do a quick drop and then a catch kind of squat. I want you to lift your chest and chin. So you're just a slight extension. And now really quickly we're going to release. You're just going to collapse. Knees bent, arms swing, let your weight shift, and then come up nice and slow. Lift your heart, look up at your ceiling. Now release again. Just collapse. Go with that swingy bounce at the bottom and then pause at the top. And release. And it's a natural pause. Like I always feel like I'm at like Six Flags in one of those like big rocking pirate ships and it just kind of hangs right at the top and then falls again. 2 more times. I think that doesn't exist at Six Flags anymore, but you know what I mean. Last one. And then back up. All right. And a little curtsy side bend, because why not? Start with just arms, in case you don't love the coordination on this one. And then over. And again, one side to the other. Now I'm going to add stepping across the same side leg as the top arm. Make sure you're still encouraging a side bend, but a little bend to the knees to make that curtsy. And let's do 4 and 3, 2, and you're done. Ta-da. Have a lovely day. It's a pleasure playing Pilates with you. Can't turn it off.